In the dim light of dawn, Callum stood at the helm of Wavecutter, his small but sturdy sloop. He had spent his whole life near the sea, but today marked the beginning of his greatest journey yet, a solo voyage across the vast and uncharted waters of the Azoran Sea. With only a sextant, a weathered map, and the stars to guide him, Callum set his sights on reaching the far-off Serpents Archipelago, a place whispered about in legends, where sea serpents were said to roam the depths. The wind filled the sails, and the ship surged forward, cutting through the waves like a knife through silk. For days, Callum sailed under bright sun and clear skies, the horizon stretching endlessly before him. The ocean, vast and mysterious, seemed both a friend and a foe, cradling the Wavecutter in gentle swells but always holding its secrets beneath the surface. As the days turned into weeks, the sea grew darker, colder. A heavy fog settled in, draping the horizon in ghostly white. Callum had heard tales from old sailors about this part of the Azoran Sea, how the fog would roll in thick and sudden, and with it, the serpents would come. At first, it was a faint ripple in the water, just at the edge of his vision. He brushed it off as his imagination running wild, but then he saw it again, a shadow, large and serpentine, weaving beneath the waves. His heart raced. The legends had said the serpents were enormous, creatures of ancient times, and though Callum had always thought them myth, the cold chill that gripped him now told a different story. The fog thickened, and Callum strained to see through the gray veil. Suddenly, a massive coil of scales broke the surface, glistening in the pale light, then vanished again. The water roiled beneath the boat, and a deep, low rumble echoed from below. The Wavecutter rocked violently, its mast creaking as the Serpent circled below. Panic welled up in Callum's chest, but he fought it down. He had come too far to turn back now. Clutching the helm, he steered the sloop toward a narrow gap in the fog, hoping to find clearer waters, but the Serpents were faster. One rose up, its body snaking around the Wavecutter, lifting the boat partially out of the water. Its eyes, cold and unblinking, locked onto Callum. Heart pounding, Callum grabbed the nearest thing he could, a harpoon passed down from his father. He threw it with all his might, striking the creature's scales with a sharp clang. The serpent reared back, letting out a piercing screech before diving back into the depths, its long tail lashing at the boat as it disappeared. But the danger wasn't over. The water churned violently, the sea a frothing cauldron. Another serpent, even larger than the first, rose from the depths, its maw opened wide, revealing rows of sharp, gleaming teeth. Callum's pulse quickened. This one seemed ancient, its scales dark and weathered, as if it had ruled these waters for millennia. With no time to think, Callum maneuvered the Wavecutter in a desperate bid to escape. The serpent lunged, but just as its jaws snapped shut around the ship, the boat darted into a hidden current. The Wavecutter sped forward, narrowly escaping the beast's grasp. For hours, Callum sailed, heart pounding, until at last the fog began to lift. The sky cleared, and the first rays of sunlight broke through the clouds. In the distance, he saw it, the jagged outline of the Serpents Archipelago, the place of legend, its shores untouched by time. As he approached the island, the serpents seemed to retreat, sinking back into the depths, their haunting calls fading into the distance. The air was still, almost serene, as if the sea itself had decided to let him pass. Callum anchored the Wavecutter in the sheltered cove of a hidden bay, the journey behind him and a new adventure ahead. The island beckoned, its ancient trees whispering in the wind, but he knew the real battle was over. He had faced the serpents of the Azoran Sea and lived to tell the tale.